Good morning, America. Decision Day. Top White House aides issue an ultimatum from President Trump, demanding a vote on the health care bill, saying it's now or never.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a very close vote.
The House just hours from voting after a flurry of activity on Capitol Hill overnight. Can Trump close the first big deal of his presidency?
Breaking news, 2 more arrests in that London terror attack overnight, and new details about the suspect, a 52-year-old British citizen who converted to Islam, ISIS calling him their soldier. As the death toll climbs, what we're now learning about the American victim who was celebrating his anniversary as thousands paid tribute overnight.
High school hero. The incredible moment caught on tape in a cafeteria. A freshman leaps into action to save his choking friend. The boy speaking out this morning right here on GMA.
And drama in the big dance.
That's it!
Xavier stunning Arizona with a Sweet 16 upset overnight.
Xavier has upset!
Taking their celebration to the floor in the heartbreaking final seconds. That cost West Virginia a win. Now a new round of showdowns just hours away.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. Happy Friday to everyone. Big day for healthcare after a pretty big night for basketball.
Big night for basketball, especially if you're a Xavier fan. They had their lucky charm with them last night. Take a look at who was in the stands. There's Bill Murray himself. His son is an assistant coach for Xavier, and you remember he cheered on the Cubs in the World Series, and I believe every team, they wanted Bill Murray on their side.
They need Bill Murray on their side.
Bill Murray on your side.
He is a lucky charm. Let's take a live look at the House Rules Committee right now. That is Capitol Hill. They are up and working early this morning. That is the committee where they're going to set the terms for the debate today. Big day ahead on Capitol Hill after a long night last night.
That's right. It's an early morning, but those lawmakers did work through the night, trying to rally support, postponing the vote until today. President Trump's team says it is now or never. Our congressional correspondent Mary Bruce has all the latest from Capitol Hill. Quite a day, Mary.
Good morning. Well, that vote is coming, even though its outcome is still uncertain. Republicans this morning are plowing ahead after top White House aides came to the Hill last night with a clear message from the president. Hold the vote, and if it fails, move on. Ready or not, this morning, House Republicans say their health plan is headed for a vote. What's your plan B?
There is no plan B. We're passing it.
Overnight, President Trump's top aides on a mission to the Capitol, behind closed doors delivering an ultimatum to Republicans from Trump himself. Trump's budget director telling them the president wants an up or down vote now, and that if the bill fails, Trump is prepared to leave Obamacare in place and move on to other priorities.
This is the only train leaving the station that's going to be repealing Obamacare and giving us an alternative to replace it.
Speaker Paul Ryan emerging from the meeting with a declaration. The vote is on.
We've been promising the American people that we will repeal and replace this broken law because it's collapsing and it's failing families. And tomorrow we're proceeding.
But Republicans remain divided over their replacement plan.
This is not a repeal. This is a patchwork fix.
They'd planned to vote Thursday on the 7th anniversary of Obamacare being signed into law. But as the hours ticked by, no deal.
We don't want to get overly optimistic.
The president and vice president working the phone, hosting skeptical conservatives at the White House. Trump first getting a standing ovation, but around that table, ultimately the closer-in-chief unable to make a deal.
There are not enough votes as of 1:30 today.
Do you think you're ultimately going to be able to get this done?
We always try to get to yes, but
not today.
I think it would be a mistake to move forward today.
Shortly after hosting truckers to talk health care at the White House, the president was confident the vote would happen.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a very close vote.
But just minutes later, that vote was canceled. Now, as for what Republicans will be voting on, the new version of the bill, in addition to rolling back the Medicaid expansion and using tax credits to buy insurance, it also no longer requires insurance companies to cover basic health services like maternity care, mental health treatment, and even ambulances. But this morning, it is still not clear if Republicans have the vote to pass it. George?
Okay, Mary, thanks. Let's take the big question now to the president's point man on health care. He was up on Capitol Hill late into the night. White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney. Director Mulvaney, thank you for joining us this morning. Big question, do you have the votes?
Don't know. That's up to the House to count their own votes. The president made his final pitch last night, made it clear that we're all on the same page. The Republicans all want the same thing. They want to get rid of Obamacare and give people the control and the options that they want, the quality that they need, and the affordability they deserve. This is the chance today to deliver all of those things in the House.
The core of the opposition, as you know, is the Freedom Caucus. Up to last year, you were a member of the Freedom Caucus in the House. They say this is not full repeal.
There's no way to fully repeal this, George. As you recall, go back 7 years, actually 7 years, I think it was yesterday, Senate Democrats had 60 votes and were able to put some of Obamacare in with 60 votes. We don't have that. This bill today repeals as much of Obamacare as is legally possible, given the fact we only have 52 votes in the Senate.
And as you know, the public is not sold on this at all. The latest poll from Quinnipiac shows 56% disapprove this bill, only 17% support it.
George, that always changes. I think I have a higher approval rating now than I did when I was in Congress, just because I'm not in Congress anymore. So no, people still know what it means back home. The folks who are on Obamacare, and I was one of them, know it means that you can afford to have health insurance, but you can't afford to the doctor. Today is the chance in the House for the Republicans to change that.
The other big problem you have is that latest score from the CBO shows that this is not going to add to coverage, not going to bring premiums down anymore, but it's going to add almost $200 billion to the deficit.
Keep in mind that the CBO does not score the other things that are already going on, what Tom Price is doing at HHS, the other legislation that we're pushing. And by the way, the CBO score is just wrong on adding to the deficit, because if it adds to the deficit, it could not reconcile in the Senate. So that last part is actually probably not correct.
Well, they're saying it would reduce the deficit by $200 billion less than the previous plan. The other big thing you're doing is one of the promises made to the House Freedom Caucus is that this will do away with the requirement that policies cover essential health benefits like maternity care, pediatric care, treatment for mental health and addiction problems. Yet the full impact of this isn't even going to be shown to the House members before they vote today. Is that right?
Keep in mind on that first piece, states still have the ability to do that. And in fact, many states do. I talked to many of my Republican friends on the Hill last night. In fact, we talked to a lot of my Republican friends over the last couple of days, including here in the White House. I mean, we've probably had more people through here in the last week than President Obama had in 8 years. But one of the things they kept pointing out to me is that if they're from states that already offer those, the federal government is not changing that. States still have the ability to offer those essential health benefits. What we're doing is taking the federal mandates away.
What's at stake today? How important is this win to the president?
I think it's very important. The president wants to get rid of Obamacare. He's looked at the Republicans in the House and said, look, you've had 7 years to work on this. Now's the time. This is not, say what you want to about Donald Trump. This is not an ordinary politician. He wants to do this, and he wants to do it now. He also wants to move on to things like tax reform, infrastructure, restructuring the government, putting people back to work. He's not willing to wait the several months that an ordinary president would. He wants to do it. He wants to do it today. That's the message I delivered on his behalf last night, and I hope the Republicans in the House were listening. I think they were.
Reports in the New York Times that the president is having second thoughts, that he thinks he should have done tax reform first.
Yeah, I've been with the president a lot the last couple of days, and I can assure you that conversation has never come up. We promised to do this first. We're going to do it first. Today's the chance.
And if you fail here, isn't it going to be that much harder to get tax reform done, because you're not going to have that almost $900 billion in revenue that you're getting from this bill?
George, I've heard that a couple different times. Keep in mind that tax reform will also have to be reconcilable. It will have to lower the deficit on its own. Tax reform will stand on its own 2 feet. And just as importantly, tax reform is something that the president's working on now. When you see tax reform the first time, it will be the president's plan, and we'll drive the debate on that.
So you don't know if you have the votes right now. How confident are you that President Trump can close the deal?
I have a lot of confidence in the president. I've seen him talk to, like I said, more members in the last couple of days of both parties, by the way. When we had Democrats, Republicans, we had conservatives, we had moderates, we had everybody through the White House. I think we had 100 members of Congress through the White House yesterday. The president's a tremendous salesperson, a tremendous closer. I wouldn't count him out.
Director Mulvaney, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, George.
Let's bring in our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd, also Cecilia Vega from the White House. And Matt, let me begin with you. Guts ball for the president today to call that vote without knowing if he has the votes.
Well, I was struck, George, by your interview. 2 different things. The first thing was that what he said at the end, which is no longer is tax reform tied to this, which is basically an acknowledgement that they could lose this and still try to to tax reform. It's the first time they've really said that. And the second thing, George, what he said at the beginning of this, when he basically said, well, it's not really up to us. The House counts the votes. The leadership counts the votes. So it was sort of a point the fingers. It's if we lose again, it's not our problem. The problem they have is this is a political game of Jenga. And if they pull this piece out and it doesn't work, all the other pieces for them fall.
And Cecilia, the White House pulling out all the stops today, but you're not completely convinced the vote will actually take place.
No, George. In fact, what I'm hearing, the president is negotiating feverishly behind the scenes. I'm told that he was on the phone for 45 minutes with Speaker Paul Ryan last night. We know he had a lot of phone calls and has been having meetings here at the White House. Look, the White House is certainly trying to project this air of confidence going into this vote. From what I'm hearing, though, from people involved in these actual negotiations, that level of confidence doesn't necessarily exist inside behind closed doors. There is a sense that this vote might actually not happen today if they're not able to round up the numbers. And from what I hear, these numbers, the votes are really close right now.
And it is so close right now. It could go either way as far as we can tell. So Matt, you talked about the stakes. You talked about this political Jenga game right now. If the president doesn't get the votes today, how does he recover?
It's a huge problem, and it's probably ruins his entire first 100 days, which has already been problematic in here. I think what it does is it makes tax reform almost impossible. It makes the budget very difficult. It makes infrastructure plan that he has tried to say he wants to do soon, put it in danger. It basically is a domino effect. And if he loses this, all the other dominoes of the things he wants to get done are almost impossible.
And Cecilia, even if he wins, a tough road ahead in the Senate for this health care bill.
Yeah, this is not a done deal. Even if this vote happens today, George, even if it passes today, they still have a huge hurdle ahead of them, and everything is on the line for just the perception of this White House. He ran as negotiator in chief. His book is The Art of the Deal, and we pulled up a couple of chapters. One of his things is you got to know when to walk away from the deal. This is why he put this ultimatum down and laid it out there the night before. Everything is on the line. This is his first big piece of legislation. If this one doesn't pass for him, everything going forward is tainted for this White House.
Big day ahead. We're going to break down all the fallout Sunday on This Week. Thanks to you both. Amy?
All right, turning now to London and those new arrests overnight in that deadly terror attack. Authorities taking 2 more people into custody as ISIS calls the attacker their soldier. Our chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, is in London with all of those new details. Good morning to you, Terry.
Good morning, Amy. The focus today on the investigation into the attacker, identified as Khalid Massoud. British authorities are digging into his long history of Islamist radicalization, looking to see if they missed any signs and looking to see if family, friends, or associates were in on the plot. New images today of the moments of terror in London. You see the chaos and confusion as Prime Minister Theresa May is hustled to safety from Parliament, her guards with weapons drawn in this video from the Sun newspaper. And these pictures of the attacker moments after he was taken down by police. This morning we're learning more about him, the man responsible for this deadly terror attack in the heart of London. Authorities say 52-year-old Khalid Massoud was a British citizen born Adrian Russell Wjla before converting to Islam. He had a long criminal history and was living here in Birmingham, where investigators have been seen collecting evidence. Massoud had been investigated for ties to violent Islamic extremism over a decade ago after his conversion. In 2003, authorities concluded he posed a low risk. ISIS is now calling Massoud a soldier.
Londoners will never be cowed.
Overnight, thousands gathering in London's Trafalgar Square to pay tribute to the victims. And the death toll is rising. Another victim, a 75-year-old man, succumbing to his injuries. So now, 4 killed in the attack. Over 40 were injured from 11 different countries. Among the deceased, veteran police officer Keith Palmer, who gave his life protecting Parliament. This might be the last image of him, taken with a U.S. tourist just moments before he was stabbed by the attacker. And an American, Kurt Cochran of Utah, 54, a musician visiting London with his wife, Melissa, celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary.
The only word I could really describe it as is surreal. He did live his dream, and not a lot of people get to do that.
The roads are open again. Parliament is back in business. London is back defiantly. Amy?
Terry, authorities have said that Massoud acted as a lone wolf. But if that's the case, why so many other arrests in this?
That's an excellent question. I mean, there have been 8 arrests so far, 2 of them last night that authorities have said are significant. It does seem the more that they dig into his associates, the more they are finding perhaps more involved in this plot.
All right, Terry Moran, thank you very much. George?
Kami, thanks. Back here at home, we've got some severe storms on the move. Ginger's got the latest on that.
That's exactly right, George. More than 70 severe storm reports, including this large hail in Iowa. But look at this video this morning. On the cold side of the system, we have blizzard warnings in Colorado. That is what it looks like. Visibility incredibly reduced, especially along I-25. Lyman, for example, in the blizzard warning. Right along the Palmer Ridge, you could see 5 to 10 inches of snow. A ton of wind alerts that go all the way to Lafayette, Louisiana, Conway, Arkansas in there. The front side, the warm side of the storm this afternoon is going to produce severe weather. Damaging wind and hail, the main threat, but you could see an isolated tornado anywhere in that yellow region right there from parts of Texas up to Missouri. Much more to come on the severe threat tomorrow. Michael?
All right, thank you, Ginger. And now to the big dance. Overnight, Xavier taking home a huge Sweet 16 upset. And there were some other nail-biting close calls out there. And Paula Ferris is here with all the highlights. Hey, Paula.
Hey there, Michael. My heart's still palpitating from all of these games. March Madness, you know, this is what it's all about. 3 of last night's games, they went down to the final shot, to the final seconds. And this morning, we're talking about the David versus Goliath matchup. Xavier and Arizona. Xavier doing what few thought was possible.
Overnight, the upset of the tournament. The 11 seed Xavier Musketeers stunning the number 2 seed Arizona.
That's it! Xavier!
Sending the Wildcats packing, a team more than 12 million brackets thought would advance to the Elite 8. Xavier's defense keeping Arizona from scoring for the last 3 minutes, earning their first trip to the Elite 8 since 2008. Was this fan their good luck charm? Bill Murray in the crowd to cheer on his son, who's an assistant coach for the Musketeers. But as the first 4 teams punched their tickets to the Elite 8, reminders that the road is paved with broken brackets and lined with tears. It's game over for Michigan, this year's Cinderella team. The Wolverines hoping for their 8th consecutive win since their plane ran off the runway, dropping a heartbreaker to Oregon at the buzzer.
For the Elite 8.
I had a good look at the basket and it just didn't drop for me.
Meantime, number 1 seed Gonzaga advancing over West Virginia. The game a nail-biter till the very end, but with 40 seconds left, West Virginia missing 3 three-pointers in a row.
Miles now, and the clock expires, and the game is over.
Some on social media calling it the worst possession ever and posting memes like these.
So 4 more games tonight. Winners advance to the Elite 8. As for Xavier, they will play Gonzaga Saturday night. If they win, this will be their first trip to the Final Four. Big for their school.
Was that a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meme?
It was. That's a
so
shot
bad.
only a mother could love.
But quick thing, we talked about Bill Murray being Xavier's good luck charm or lucky charm, but they have a real good luck charm.
They do, and they actually have what amounts to be a glass urn of ashes. Let me explain. I'm sure your coaches did some weird things, you know, in your years as a professional athlete, but Chris Mack, the head coach of Xavier, they had an awful February, okay, you guys? They were playing poorly. So he printed out copies of the February schedule with the team's record, handed them out to each player, and said, write on the back something that you're willing to sacrifice from here on out going into the tournament. They then burned all of those calendars in the locker room in a metal trash can. Those ashes now on display throughout the tournament. Seems to be their good luck charm.
All
right. I know.
All right. Elaborate, but it looked like
There
it
you go.
worked. Okay. All right, let's head to Ginger now with more fires, unfortunately, in the South.
Yes, the Garfield fire, 600 acres burned already just west of Jacksonville. A lot of places looking like this. Unfortunately, they say they have it under control, but there's more fire danger in Texas and parts of the Southern Plains. All right, let's get to those weekend getaways brought to you by Edward Jones.
Hello. Hi, it's Ann from Edward Jones. I'm glad I caught you.
Well, I'm just leaving the office, so for once I've got plenty of time. What's going on?
So, those financial regulations being talked about? They could affect your accounts. So let's get together and talk and make sure everything's clear.
Thanks. Yeah, that would be great.
We've grown to over $900 billion in assets under care by being proactive, not reactive. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
A warm front moving through the area going to increase our chance for some morning showers, especially north of D.C. later this a.m. But as we head into this afternoon, some sunshine going to be increasing, and not only that, but temperatures going to be rising into the low 60s by about 5 o'clock later today. And for this weekend, it's only getting warmer from here. 73 on Saturday for a daytime high with a mixture of clouds and sun. Looks like the rain holding off until Sunday evening. Enjoy your upcoming weekend.